Yeah. So we have this concept of meetings and which was available in the work relationship. So under person management review, there is a task of there's a still an existing task for work relationship where when there is a weekly version, it's available weekly, um, where the enterprise similar. So how that was working is the HR is expected to come and manually make the changes. So only they were able to get the legal hierarchy. This work is legal data. Whereas if you wanted to have someone is removed to people, others eliminate the environment. Let's say employee has joined and he has left. He has joined from 18 months. Um, X. He gets that. My that's obviously like 6 years from when you have two companies and the price of the price is 6 years together. 19 years. So I won't consider this 19 years as what for senior. So if there is any uh, rewards that needs to be given based on that sales this employee access growth. I wanted to count that if your year of experience as or your length of service as 19 years, not 26 months. Or I shouldn't be counting it from 21 week. That is considered some assignment. And it's not counted. In such cases, we need to look at concept as a season. Earlier to this weekly, so all these are being automatically done now. So earlier, like I was mentioning, in the work relationship, HR was expected to go and make these changes. So it used to be like 2023 in this example, when the person you are taking the field was there, used to get it already. So HR used to be on the paid visiting. Whereas now it comes and sits as 2020, 2006, based on the rule we platform. like how I want the enterprise environment to be considered. But it does not go and sit in the work relationship page, which is called, it's a V2 version. Now there is a separate UI. There is a separate seniority date. So there is a separate task available to person management. There is a separate task for seniority date. Or even if you go on the quick action, you will be able to see the same. You will see that. So from 2020, in 23 we upgrade, it was announced that this the version 2 was deprecated, which means that if any of your customers you are working with, if they're still working with V2, then there will be any that was corrected if there are any issues. Which is not the case in most projects because most customers have not V2. If there are any customers who are still with V2, you probably have to remove it. To convert this V3 to V2, we have to run this process called as migrate to version 3. So this is the process which has to be done. And you must consider this point. One with this run, we cannot reserve it to changes. So we have to do it accordingly when we have migrating information. So like, what is the difference between V2 and V3? It was available, there is one senior debate is about the work relationship date itself. But here there is a separate page for this. And this was manual task, this is later. How is this getting automatic? There are rules which are created before the available system. And there are task pass formed as logic also possible. Whereas it doesn't support no pass form. So this is the bigger differences. And so you would update the seniority date. There is a process as well. That's how it gets automatic. You can report existing rules, or you can pass on the logic seniority date. If you both of it, you need to run the process. And the process is called complete seniority. Okay. There is a task where you can configure this called as configure seniority date. We go to this task, we will be see and then it is the date to that thing that is coming. So what are the levels that is available to this? And if I have to consider the date based on the enterprise, that is the first higher date, activity, or based on the work. If there are multiple assignments, you will be able to so yes, now hired as an employee. And there as an employee, it is rehired. As an employee, he gets another assignment. So if that is the case, he has two assignments with work relationship. So based on the other assignment, like blockchain, then based on that, if you want to have the date, whenever this job change is happening, you can pick that date in the same. Or like you could say that whenever this person is rehired, we could pick that. Or I don't want any rehired date, I would need an enterprise level, that is when he was first hired. But even in this, I don't want the system to see this. So here, if I do first time, we'll just see that process. There is a process where we use that to migrate from information. That process has to be mutually harmonized. Now, my system already is using impression, so probably that is why you cannot be able to see this. If you see, this is the process. Migrate to relation to see, right? Simple process is to be answered. For some reason, it is not there. I agree. So if I open this process, this is the process which you have to check with it on a daily basis so that if there is a new employee, any changes that happens. So you will have to select the rule that you like and then select this process, run this process on a daily basis. So that the senior statement and then it's a change in the case. Or if there is any person who gets hired also, the senior gets. So how does the seniority gate look like? Is that why is available? Let's also see that before we get into the details. I can come here, navigate, see. It's not, we have only one assignment because of the hired ones. And, there is even the we hired that. So it calculates the value of the plans. And manually also, if you doesn't understand, because like this, we will be able to change what is the manual adjust the days you want, what date you want now currently this is the date, what date you want to change. You want to change it by the days. This is the first test. And if I click on for some reason, if I want to do it, I click. Now the seniority rate has been updated. So there's the five single dates. So it's now second with that one. I'm gonna work back. Last one. 5 plus, it's back because the minus if that's so you can here I could select the rules for the person level what is the same legal employer level what is the same. So you can select the rules if we are using the seniority based on the past contract, right? To have this person eligible for some of the wage and good service, or for some awards, for some benefits, bonus, anything. Then you could define what rule it is based on what rule you want to have the date. So for this employee, for all the rules, you will see the same date. Now, just for this rule, where we have made the changes, you can see the date is changed. So this way, you could see the dates as well. So this was the enterprise date. You could see this and the person information as well. You want to task available. similar to what we have seen now. Now let's go to competition. So that's the place where we can define the rules. Uh, so what we were seeing that cumulative was the custom rule. First rule that we were seeing. So these are the three rules. So these are active. It doesn't want if you created any separate rules, and if it doesn't want that to appear, you can make that and active. So now what it is doing, we will employ seniority work relationship in the person level. So this takes the surface level. What is the date, first hire date of the staff? We will take that. Whereas this one, what we are seeing, it takes work relationship. They recently hired it, it is perfect. There is also another level. If I click on it, just pick rule, or I can add it as well. You cannot have the same rule, which is already there. I have to change it. And how do we configure the seniority rule name? Is I will look up table. You will see that as well. So I could see if it is job. Then this assignment, this is the first level, and then comes a work relationship, and then the assignment. So I could select the assignment. Cumulative or not. That means the person is getting rehired. You wanted to consider, I mean, you wanted to ignore the break in service. So we'll get back to the same example. So, okay. So in this case, here the rule that is defined, this is a cumulative, which means that in this rule, this is a custom rule. Actually, I will actually let's delete this. So this is the adjusted formula. That means I need some other custom logic or hyper because of which I have defined the class plan. So that is not the case. I wanted to have it based on the whatever that is delivered. Then I could make use of this thing called as cumulative, which means that if there are break-in service, it will ignore, but only whatever is active period of the staff, it will consider that. So, and since I have given as person level, so all his active periods is going to be considered. In this adjusted formula, what we have done, we have also ignored the other periods, like if he's based on his assignment, like if he's on a leave of absence, that is suspended period. We have ignored that period as well, which is why we have used the adjusted formula. And so are we allowing the edit, which means the edit which I just performed in the seniority page. I can go perform that edit, add some adjusted days, like remove some adjusted date. If I'm allowing that, which means I have to put this configuration is yes. Display and guided flows, we'll have to do it as yes. Override the seniority dates, we'll select it as either days or hours. It has a days or hours, days and hours option. And these all you could be whatever the country that you're in, whatever the worker type that it will provide. And then if you want to save it, you have to save this. If you want to create a new rule, so you can create it. How are these rules coming here? You cannot come and provide the name here. You have to choose it from the drop down itself. And how is this available? It is available in the manage column. Code up the seniority items. So these lookup types are the rules. Whatever the rules are you have to it, different rule. I might create another one. Say best will be started as because often when I say best seniority date, that's very good. Okay, since I have activated this sandbox, I cannot make any changes. So yes, this is how you would be doing. You have to add a role here so that this gets available in the path. You can see what we did. And thereafter, if you want any custom logic also, you would be able to define that. So now let's go to the past formula where you could define that. Is employment seniority date adjustment. So this is the task volume. If you have any question object, you will be able to define that in this fast formula and attach that fast formula and the seniority date. So this is how you would be able to achieve the seniority date. Whatever the date based on the organization policy, you will be able to define and have that available to the staff. That was about today's seniority date session. We will meet. Okay. Thank you.